Good day, fellow interwebians. I have an interesting concept to share with you in a game that you can play every day of your life, should you wish, or should you want. And the results of this game are perhaps greater than any game you've ever played. Now, it's a very simple game. Let me take you back to the year of probably 2002 through 2004. I don't remember if I was 9, 10, 11, somewhere in there. My childhood buddy and I were very close at this time. The one I've referenced before in videos, my good China friend. He and I were stuck together like glue. And there was one day where I talked with him on the bus about this very concept. I said, "Hey bud, let's go the entire day without saying the word I." A very simple premise, but difficult to do in practice because of course in the grand scheme of days, usually, especially at childhood level where you're in classroom settings and there's so many questions being flooded around, uh, despite the militaristic style often of public school, inevitably you're going to be asked, "How are you?" or something along the lines of, "What do you think of birds?" or "How do insects make you feel?" Things like this. And to think of a response that doesn't bring it back to the ego, bring it back to you, but rather brings the collective intrigue in a topic to the forefront and provide simply an angle that isn't so fixated on your physical person. Now, this word, I crossed it out here, the I didn't do a great job. The cross is a little bit right of the blue eye, but this took me all of 3 seconds. Some of my favorite art is the stuff that takes just 2 seconds of time. Um, and I'm wearing my Dino tee. Gotta rep the Jurassic and the fake universe that I used to be enamored by. You can see in the eye just how in awe I was of everything happening, all the colors and combinations of events and the intriguing world that was never really there, but that was told to us and was probably derived from a chicken and a a gecko combination that someone like James Gurney or uh, someone who Steven Spielberg probably worked with in close contact when making Jurassic Park uh, devised. Yes, these things that weren't there, these fantastical things were interesting, but that is besides the point. And the essence is this no I game is very helpful because it it makes the participant think creatively about how to express the feelings and the thoughts that come. It also disembodies your consciousness, which is very helpful when you're having a lot of weight and pain, whether it be psychological or physical, on your bones. Talking to a lady I work with today about this concept, she agreed. And it's this eternal thing where so many people go around referring to themselves all the time about whatever they do that they become addicted to it and they live completely in the ego, so to speak. Uh, and sometimes, okay, this is a little sidebar. Sometimes I think the ego might be just this trap that they've put on us. like it doesn't really exist. It's just this sort of like psychological trap. Like I don't trust Sigmund Freud or these sort of progenitors of these ideas. He's a very weird person, seemed to want to get it on with his mom and whatnot. But and his stuff has been disbanded. I mean, I don't even know. It seems like a weird Masonic character designed uh, to freak people out. But maybe he just genuinely was that weird. He, right? You know, this essence of being in the pool of life and not being needed to be like a character or needing to be this significant figure all the time or feel like that. And of course, learning about our world and the chaos that has been created by clubs and maybe one big club and the evils that exist. This is the antithesis of what they want. They want you living completely in I-land and thus being a poor communicator, and stuck in your own cell internal prison, your own prison of whatever. So to break free of this, something that you can try is this no I game, which I highly recommend, which is highly recommended. See, and it's because it's because people who have also conducted this game have found the same curious curiosities from experiencing this. People will take a little bit longer and pause before they speak because they can't be at center anymore. And in defeating a me monster, whether internally or from around somebody, it is, if someone is participating in this game, they're going to inherently pull the me monster out of the other person that may not even be aware that the other person's playing this game, because the energy is so amorphous and connected. It's this idea of like one connective soul, which is hard to believe given all the evils and the evil people of this world. But the idea that perchance we could bring to the light, bring these evil people to the light and say, hey, you don't have to put yourself on a pedestal. That's your essence. That's your problem. You need to make yourself important all the time. Instead, can you be, even just try a day, nobody, and simply observe your reality and recognize that you truly are disembodied, and oftentimes it's referred to as a white light, a soul inside of the being. But there is this sense of a superorganism, and we're discovering ourselves in collective in many forms and in many ways, and being kinder. And I cannot, and as you can see, it is difficult to play this game. And it is so interesting. It is so interesting to practice this, because it can be practiced all the time. I think it can be practiced all the time, and it is an equivalent to fasting. People abuse the ego, and fasting applies to virtually anything in life. So fasting from that ego, fasting from that self-importance is critical to our growth as uh, enacting God's plan, so to speak, or doing things that are for the collective rather than for your comfort or for your status. So some people do this by hiding themselves and putting things out into the world and leaving it anonymously, and that's beautiful. But and in addition, this can help too, taking yourself out of the equation in conversation and being able to flow naturally as if we're in this, like as referenced earlier, this amorphous pool of deeper understanding and letting things unravel. There is less judgment, there is less criticism, there's less, the tone of people shift. It's such a powerful thing to do. And it's crazy that this person you're seeing right here, uh, myself, hasn't done this in such a long time, not consciously. And coming back to it after all these years, it's so exciting to start employing this again and bringing it into the fold, because it's clear it's going to benefit people around me, because there won't be this fixation on the agenda of whatever unravels in the mind. And sometimes it will sound like you are a bit oracle like you're trying to maybe imitate a character like Yoda or some sort of oracle. But the better you get at it, the less that will come up. So clearly I'm out of practice for talking in that way, in that light. And there you go. Said the word as is. So it is highly recommended to practice this, because it's so easy to be stuck in the mundanity, the process of being the person that's in so much of what society tells the world and people, and maybe especially people that aren't like MK Ultra, right? The people that aren't in this club, that aren't in Hogwarts, is to to keep uh, honing yourself. And while this is in some ways, while this is obviously a good practice in a certain light, I also this is a good practice in a certain light. I mean, undoubtedly so. What may be more powerful is coming to genuine truths and perceiving reality in a way that is dissolved from the ego. So my favorite, and this is, I'm disobeying the game here, but so what? I'm not playing. This game's this game is important. We need to continue to play it. But let me do a little sidebar here and state my preference of something that I think is related to this. So sidebar, give me a break. This game was brought to the forefront of mind when this person you see here came into contact with psychedelic mushrooms for the first time. Because, as many people have expressed, this person included, seeing the world in a way where it's not related to the ego and what to do next and how this physical character is going to do things is so helpful. Simply enjoying God's creation as we see it and being thankful for the capacity to be. Yes, there's a lot of difficulty in this world. There's a lot of BS. This world is rigged, sure. But there is easy ways to walk around it. And this is one of them. And it's antithetical to everything you see in the media. And that's why and that's why it makes sense. That's a better phrase than this person or whatever. That's why, because this person gets into the third person thing, talking about yourself in the third person is weird. It's not right. It doesn't feel right. It feels awkward. So that's maybe a common pitfall of the no I game, is to talk about oneself in the third person. Better yet, refer to the environment around you. Refer to what's been seen, what many people can relate to, And then the conversation naturally will unravel like a blossom on a tender spring day, and the birds are chirping just right, instead of this this sort of mechanical and rigid view of self, when the reality is so much more mysterious and interesting. So please, please, please give this a whirl, and let the world know about it through the actions. It's a subtle thing. It doesn't have to come about by talking about it. It comes about because if someone's playing this game, and you are privy to it, it's going to it's going to remove all of the just the crude matter, the tension in the air, the fear, because you know this person who's doing this genuinely cares about enhancing the collective milieu, the collective consciousness. There's a CC33, but the 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 greater good, because yeah, it's not about you. It's about helping people. Like, you know, Jesus is a great example. Selfless, help people all over the place. Yes, he did say all these I am God. I yes. So obviously as people we're in a different role than him, where we're not saying that shit. That's nonsense. Anybody who says that shit, walk away. Because technically we're all of God, right? Or like there's Satan seed and people that lie and throw the hand signs, whatever. But people that are normal and don't do these things, you're of God. And even like I even people that seem evil, like there's gotta be a way. There's a way that they can deny the things they did. You know, take back their like remove um their oaths from their life, if possible. Maybe they have to sacrifice something to do that, but hey, you took the oaths in the first place to gain power, so um, what are you doing? And inevitably what's going to come of this, if it's really practiced well, and it doesn't have to be in this raw form, there's so many ways to do it, but just the active idea of relinquishing yourself from the room, letting yourself fade into the ether or the plants or the wind, or just allowing it to breathe and not be such a big component, and being a big deal kind of thing, because it's not healthy and it's wrong and it's selfish and it's indulgent, and it's what leads to things like Wally, or uh, so many interpretations of uh, planned obsolescence, and people that just you know go crazy over celebrities and always have to refer to themselves in the I all the time, and have to let people know about their own opinions. And the big thing that people will find is their conversations will improve, because what I found with a lot of people, whether adult or otherwise, is so many people, if you go to them with a problem, they will just turn it into their own thing. Oh, well, when I did that, it's like, I no, stop doing that. This has nothing to do with you. I'm going to reference this in a later video, but this is one of the best examples I've ever had in my life, and it happened to me not too long ago. And this person really needs the no I game, because this person, geez, this is one of the worst responses I've ever seen to this experience that I had. So this was back in 2020, I believe it was like October. I was out in Connecticut, and there was this great windstorm, and there like gusty winds and just crazy weather, and there was no power for a few days. Maybe I don't remember how long it was, but it was a few days. And in the middle of this, trees falling down, limbs everywhere. Just the world looks a little different. It wasn't too chaotic, but people were coming out of their house, a little bit more. And so I was at my parents' family home, and I went around the bend. I had my daughter. We recently had my daughter, and I was strolling her around. And my partner was away for the moment, but I had my daughter, and so I was strolling her around, and I went up the hill and then back down to my neighbors, or around the bend and through the cut through to my neighbors area. And I didn't expect to see the neighbors. Most people in this time hadn't, like, they usually are inside or they're older and they're not around. But a lot of the same cast of characters lived in the houses that I'm passing, and for whatever reason they were all out that day. Well, that reason, the whole no power, let's talk old village world is fun, right? Kind of day. And I had never seen them with my daughter, so because it was really exciting. So I was like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" And they're like, "Whoa, you have a child!" And because I these people I knew vaguely, like I know them, like I had spent a lot of childhood with them, but I was never like really close friends with them. Just we played soccer together, that kind of thing, um, basketball, whatever, just neighborhood sports, neighborhood extra video games, whatever. And the girl, whatever, not really a girl, Spire, whatever. I go up to her and I'm like, hey, and it had been so long. We just naturally, innately give each other a hug, and she sees my baby and she's like, oh no, and I'm like, what? Like, what's going on? She's like, oh no, now my mom's going to expect me to have a child, and oh my, I wanted to punch this person because I'm not saying that I deserve special attention, but generally speaking, when someone introduces a baby, you don't turn it around and make it about you. That is just the most self-centered, like, this person doesn't even know how to speak. It's a cute little baby. What are you doing bringing this back to you? And it's doubly funny because this person is a swire, and I personally believe that swires can't have babies. I just, it doesn't make sense. My partner's that way too. I don't agree with Hans on this front, or other people. It just, I don't see it. It doesn't add up. I think there's a Free Martin, whatever, Danny DeVito, freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, whatever that thing was. I never saw it, but just the posters. It's all you need to know. The quote unquote man, the one who's dressed like a man's actually having the baby because you just got to look at the skeleton. Oh, duh. That's what's happening. I don't. I think it's women and Free Martin. I don't believe in the Swire births anymore. I just, that's something I can't fathom. It doesn't, the skinny body that I have cannot hold a baby. It just, there's no room. Baby would come out so messed up. But this person needed the no eye game. This person is just so far up their own butt at this time. I'm hoping that they've changed a little bit, but this was like the most popular person in high school, one of them. So I just, you know how that goes, right? This is what we were seeing, is these egomaniacs are the ones that rule over us, and we're just like, well, okay, but you gotta lie and you do weird shit to your body and or whatever, and then beyond that, you like champion dumb things, and uh, yeah. So I shouldn't say champion dumb things, but yeah, that's basically it. It's um, that's kind of true. It's they, valuing mammon and status and um, and being exclusive, right? Like being part of a club is more important than being a good person to many of these people, and they really need the no eye game. So on that front, I want to address this song that just it comes up along with it. And yes, this is loaded with bad Masonic imagery. Dinosaur L, got a koala, got a some derpy aliens, and sleeping bag records. So it is. This is evocative. It's telling you the truth without telling you the truth. This is all dream stuff. This is not real. Koalas kind of look cute, but they also look nefarious, especially this one. It's like, I'm not really real. And koalas are a specific hatred of mine. I know they're cute, sort of, but my mom had a koala wall. I'll explain that in a future video. It's just insane. Gave my daughter a koala bowl for her babyhood, and a koala backpack and a koala hat. Just like marked my daughter to the teeth with koala crap, and koalas are fake. So it's really weird. But this song, Go Bang, by Arthur Russell, I guess other people too, but I always thought, whatever. This song, Go Bang, this lyric right here says it all. I'd do anything to get the chance to go back. I want to go bang. I want to see all my friends at once. I want to go bang. And it is a bop. It is a relatable feeling. This idea of Sonder, this idea of, yeah, calling forth all your childhood friends and people that you've seen in your life and being able to see them and smile at them and interact with them and where you are now and feel like they aren't lost to the past and the sand granules aren't going down in the hourglass. And it's a magical feeling. And despite all the weirdness in this album cover, I agree with the sentiment that I do want to go bang. I want to, even with people that I didn't like, just because it's like, what are we here to do, right? We're here to improve the world, and we can't do that unless we're all on the same wavelength. So how do you get in the same wavelength? Try the No I game. It's a good thing that's helped me out. I mean, the Bible is a great tool, and for many parts, I don't agree with a lot of it, but Jesus's words and the Ten Commandments, things like Job, or books like Job, and Hebrews spoke to me a lot. But then again, you gotta read the Bible for yourself. So don't let me guide you. Paul's dog shit to me. I don't know how anybody could read Paul and not see it's dog shit. That is the biggest tell. If someone likes Paul, like, you don't know how to read. You either just go along with everything everybody says, or yeah, Satanist nonsense. Paul is basically championed by people that want to have self-importance. They want to feel important and better than someone else. Oh, I can understand Paul and quote Paul, therefore I'm better than you when I can quote the Bible. Like, no, not even close. Actually, you're ridiculous, and Paul is nonsense. But that's besides the point. I don't want to talk about that grimy loser. I want to get back to this idea because it's already fallen off a little bit, as you can tell with the couple shaky eyes there, that it can be practiced, and if possible, why not practice it eternally? Why do you have to? Why do people have to refer to themselves all the time? Isn't it that no one cares a lot of the time? So many times that I've just whatever. So many times I've expressed my opinion. You can just feel what it could be my partner, my wife, basically. And I'm like gotten married because of the world we live in and whatever. Some of that's my fault, obviously, but I just what would a wedding be with people that I feel like lie to me all the time? Um, just have a personal, intimate wedding. Just do it. But this idea that we can enhance the environment with this essential ingredient of you could say denying yourself. It kind of is in a way, but that's a little bit strong. It's more like allowing yourself to breathe and not be shackled by the ego, or as Freud, whatever, or the eyes just stuck in that, oh, I need to have an opinion on everything. And this goes into another thing where they're the same idea, but this experience, just not having opinions, just it's weird, but it's like, if there is just a truth, like there's just one truth, truthfully there's just one truth, right? There's got to be. It's just how the world works. There's one major truth. It's a long truth in the sense that there's a lot of aspects to it, but it is this. And we can live in that truth more easily if we're not bombarded by the me monster, right? The, well, gotta have an opinion on everything, because that's what leads to depression and extra weight on the being, and feeling like you've got to climb up this wall and carry the world on your shoulders, when all you had to do is jump in the pool and relax and be present and communicate more easily, and not get so fixated on, well, I've got to have an opinion about everything. So please try this. You know, do it if you want. Just see if it resonates with you. I don't know how it can't. It's very helpful. It helps people think in a more really intuitive way. You're not as intuitive if you're constantly making opinions, and there's endless ways to do it. There's so much depth to it, and there's no doubt in the experience that has been felt from both the friend I've referenced and myself, the way we talked about it. Just this day, we did it a day. This was like fourth grade. We did it for like a day. It was so clear that it helped us. It made things easier. It made people that were, maybe difficult or scary to us less scary. It made it seem like, hey, we truly are like cells in a collective body, or um we're not all these unique, uh you know have to make ourselves stand out type people. I'm not trying to advocate being a drone. I'm just saying, sorry, just saying, just as the defeater of sentences, it's going to help. And if it doesn't help, then clearly there's another angle on it. But try it out. Try it out. Get back to me. Try the no eye game and see if it benefits your life and if it introduces interesting conversations to and interesting ideas, or what's most exciting to me in all this, to maybe just the exciting to the idea of this, that's better. What's exciting to the idea of this is that there are people that you see out there that give you pause, that maybe you wouldn't talk to or you feel a little nervous around, but in getting in this mode of denying yourself, or of not constantly having to make opinions, feeling you have to make an opinion about everything or stand out or blah blah blah, then those people are not they're gonna look like the classic reference of going on stage and everyone's wearing underwear. They're just like, whatever, it's not a big deal. It's not like they're this character that has all these opinions and needs to be like, needs to differentiate themselves and stand out. This is ridiculous. I think that's how we've gotten as far as we've gotten, is people have taken these meme monsters and just ran with them. And now we have YouTubers that are like, comment, subscribe, and just, it's just sickening. Like, if people want to do it, they'll support you. You don't need to tell them to do it. It's just weird. It's so strange. And if money was removed, of course, this would be a really easy thing to bring into the fold. And maybe that's the essence, is to remove money, people have to be practicing this kind of behavior all the time, because inevitably these walls are going to fall down. These or in the shackles of yourself will dissipate, because living in one truth, living in on the same wavelength, is the healthiest way to be. Feeling like, oh, there's a stratification of society, and this person's a girl, I can't talk to her because I'm a boy, and she's not my partner for a lengthy period of time because of this is nonsense. Or this person's got tattoos, and I don't know how I feel, but just stop it. It doesn't matter. It's Everybody's out here figuring stuff out, and this is a way where you can open up a can of worms and really study them instead of just, walk past. So yeah, try it out. Let me know what you think. Or better yet, better yet, don't, because the inevitable, or the goal of this is that we'll be on the same wavelength and we'll know what each other thinks, and telepathy will come back to the fore, and we'll be better and stronger and da da da. It's amazing. It's really amazing what this can do, and it's helped my relationship out. It's helped, and it takes the onus off of the world being on one's shoulders if they're following the truth, if they're living in truth. It will just be self-evident if we adopt habits like this. All right. Keep it cool, y'all. And God bless everyone.